Here are the steps you should take if you want to work as a software engineer. First one, research the market about what skills are currently in demand. Second one, learn those skills. The next one is apply for jobs, take dozens of interviews, get feedback from the interviews, apply the feedback by returning to step number 2, learn the skills to fill the gaps. And the finished one, apply for even more jobs and eventually someone will hire you. It looks simple and it is, but in practice it takes time and dedication. Often you will find yourself highly frustrated because there are, for example, 200 people for one junior role, or companies demand a broad set of technologies which will take a lot of time to master. However, there are some tricks. So who am I to talk about this? I was a novice programmer too, however, I have learned all the necessary skills by myself. Applied to companies and eventually got my first software job 5 years ago. Let's start with the first step. Why should one research what companies want? If you do that, you will know what skills you miss and should learn to match the market criteria. A company from the market will eventually hire you, so you should understand its demand to fulfill it. Go to websites like LinkedIn and Glassdoor and find some relevant positions, for example, a JavaScript, Python or Ruby developer roles. If you don't know what technologies you want to work with, take a step back to find out. Watch YouTube videos where someone explains the relevant technologies and how they use them in practice. If you still don't know, choose JavaScript. It covers many things and you can code websites, web servers, mobile and desktop applications. So you have found, let's say, 200 open roles from various companies. Look through every one of them and write down things they have in common. For example, they always require knowledge of JavaScript, an understanding of HTTP requests or knowledge of some database. Write such things down and plan what skills, technologies and programming languages you should learn. The more roles you review, the better. You will have a better understanding of what the situation in the current market and its demand. And here is a compelling thing you may notice. Many employers look for a massive set of skills, even for entry positions. There are many reasons why they write that. The first one is that the people responsible for describing the roles are not technical. They are recruiters. Frequently, they look for similar roles on the internet and copy-paste the description. And the second reason is that companies don't know what exactly they want. Therefore, don't think all the requirements are really requirements. Filter them. For example, if you see an employer looking for someone who should know JavaScript, Java, Python for an entry-level position, in the best case, they don't know what they want. Or if an employer wants you to know multiple databases and frameworks, you can be familiar with them, but if you know them, that means you have a lot of experience and this entry-level job is not for you. The second step is to learn those skills you have found are in demand. It doesn't matter what resources you take to start studying. It can be YouTube videos, articles, anything. This information is free because it's fundamental. Just start learning. The trick here is to have a learning schedule. Dedicate some time every day to study. Go to the next step when you've learned the bare fundamentals. Now apply for jobs and get some interviews. Then after every interview where you probably will be rejected, notice what questions they've asked you and what gaps you have. Now return to the previous step and study the missing parts. When you're confident enough to try again, apply for jobs. Dozens, hundreds of them. Get interviews, get feedback, repeat until you get hired. The essential item here is not to give up if you don't receive any answer even after 50 applications. This is because so many entry-level engineers want to start their programmer careers and many people are applying for a role, and often recruiters don't have time to reply to everyone. Don't get discouraged by other things like a lot of stuff to study. It might be boring sometimes, but take a rest and stick to your schedule. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. I wish you luck. That's all for this video. See you.